Once upon a time, in the quiet suburbs of Willow Creek, lived a woman named Claire Morgan. On the surface, she had the kind of life that others envied, inviting home with white shutters, a steady job as a school counselor, and neighbors who waved warmly each morning. But inside, Claire carried a weight no one else could see. Her smile never reached her eyes, and her nights were filled with restless tossing, haunted by dreams she never admitted aloud. It was a Thursday evening when the first strange thing happened. Claire came home from work, dropped her purse on the table, and froze. A faint melody was drifting through the house, soft and chilling, like a lullaby sung underwater. She lived alone. The sound stopped the moment she called out, "Hello." Silence pressed down like heavy hands. Claire tried to laugh it off, telling herself it must have been a neighbor's TV, though deep down she knew it hadn't been. She cooked dinner, set the fork down, and stared at her reflection in the darkened kitchen window. For just a flicker of a second, she swore the reflection smiled a heartbeat too late. Her pulse quickened. She rubbed her temples and whispered, "You're just tired. That's all." But later that night, as she climbed into bed, Claire noticed something that turned her stomach cold. A folded piece of paper sat on her pillow. She hadn't put it there. With trembling hands, she unfolded it. 3 words were written in jagged black ink. "Don't trust them." Her heart pounded so loud she thought it might shake the walls. Who could have broken in? Who was them? She locked every door, checked the windows twice, and finally sat in the corner of her bedroom with her phone in her hand, debating whether to call the police. But something inside her whispered not to. And then her phone buzzed. An unknown number, a single message. "Did you read it?" The story slows for just a breath. Picture Claire alone in her darkened room, gripping her phone, her reflection faint in the window behind her. Something is watching. The audience leans closer, waiting. Claire didn't reply. She couldn't. Her fingers felt like stone, her throat too dry for a scream. She deleted the message instantly, as if erasing it could undo the terror. But the paper was still in her hand, and the words cut deeper every time she read them. The next morning at work, she tried to pretend everything was normal. She listened to students, offered advice, smiled politely to teachers in the lounge. Yet her thoughts spun like a storm. Who had been inside her home? Why hadn't they taken anything? And why? Leave a warning. At lunch, Claire noticed her colleague, Daniel Hayes, watching her closely. Daniel was charming, maybe too charming, the kind of man who always lingered a little too long in conversation. "Rough night?" he asked, almost casually. She forced a smile. "Just tired." But something about the way his eyes narrowed made her skin prickle. Did he know? That evening Claire returned home determined to find answers. She searched every inch of her Hausa closets, the attic, the basement. Nothing. Until she reached the attic's far corner. Hidden under a dusty box of Christmas lights was another folded note. Her stomach dropped. She unfolded it slowly, her breath shaking. This one read, "They're closer than you think." A creak echoed behind her. Claire spun around. The attic door was wide open. She had closed it when she came up. "Hello?" Her voice cracked in the thick air. No answer, just the groan of wood beneath unseen footsteps retreating down the stairs. Claire's knees buckled. Whoever it was that had been there with her. And for the first time, she realized she wasn't just being warned. She was being hunted. Once upon a time, in the quiet suburbs of Willow Creek, lived a woman named Claire Morgan. On the surface, she had the kind of life that others envied, inviting home with white shutters, a steady job, and a loving family. But behind closed doors, her life was anything but perfect. It all started with a strange warning. One morning, Claire woke up to find a note on her pillow that simply said, "Don't trust them." At first she assumed it was a prank by her overactive imagination. After all, she lived alone, and the house was well secured. But the message was clearly written in her own handwriting. Confused and scared, she tried to shake off the unsettling feeling. Later that day, as she was working late at the office, she got a text from an unknown number. "Did you read it?" it said. Startled, Claire realized that someone was watching her. Who was it, and what did they want? The following day at work, Claire couldn't shake off a growing sense of unease. Her colleague, Daniel Hayes, a man with an enigmatic smile and an unsettling gaze, seemed to be watching her every move. His strange interest in her made her suspicious. Did he know something about the threatening note and the text message? Days turned into weeks, and Claire's life became a torment of fear and suspicion. Then, one day, while exploring her attic, she found another note. "They're closer than you think," it said. Her heart pounded in her chest. What did this message mean? And who was they? As she descended the attic stairs, she heard a sound that made her blood run cold. The attic door, which she had left open, creaked shut. Footsteps, heavy and menacing, echoed on the stairs. Claire froze, her breath catching in her throat. She wasn't alone. Someone else was in her house. Someone was watching her. And so the tale of terror continues. Who is this mysterious intruder? Is Daniel Hayes the stalker? Or is there someone else more sinister lurking in the shadows? Will Claire be able to uncover the truth and find safety? Or will she become another victim of this sinister game? Stay tuned to find out. It all started with a strange warning. One morning, Claire woke up to find a mysterious note on her pillow that simply said, "Don't trust them." At first, she assumed it was a prank by her overactive imagination. She lived alone. There was no one else in the house. Or was there? Later that day, as Claire was washing dishes, her phone buzzed with a new text. Startled, she saw that it was from an unknown number. The message read, "Did you read it?" Obviously shaken, Claire quickly texted back, "What are you talking about?" But there was no reply. Then there was Daniel Hayes, her colleague, who seemed a bit too interested in her well-being. He was a nice guy, or so he appeared. But lately his eyes seemed to hold a strange knowing glint, making Claire wonder if he knew something she didn't. As days passed, Claire found a second note tucked away in her attic. The message read, "They're closer than you think." Just then, the attic door creaked open and Claire froze, her blood running cold. She could have sworn she heard footsteps retreating. But when she called out, no one answered. Claire was left with a chilling realization. She was not alone in the house. Someone or something was watching her every move. And it had been there all along. The question was, who and why? And so, the mystery deepens in this tale of suspense and intrigue. Who is watching? Claire? And why? And how is Daniel Hayes involved in all of this? Find out more in the next episode. Don't forget to like and subscribe for more updates.